Wise Way Learning presents the lecture number 95 to 97 under section 17. This is a complete project management free course from beginner to project manager with 19 sections of 100 lectures. Welcome to the course. Section 18 and lecture number 95 to 97, the Agile versus Waterfall. This section includes the lectures such as Lecture 95 Agile versus Waterfall, Comparison, Lecture 96 Agile versus Waterfall, Analysis, Lecture 97 Agile versus Waterfall, Conclusion. Section 18 and lecture number 95, Agile versus Waterfall, Comparison.
Waterfall or Agile? Agile or Waterfall? Which one should I use? Which one is the best? This is the million-dollar question nowadays in the project management galaxy. Let's start our analysis on this point with a summary of the characteristics of the two approaches. Waterfall is a sequential approach where all project deliverables and activities have a predefined order. The dependencies between them are clear from the start, and the project output has to be ready at the very end. Agile, on the other hand, is an iterative approach where the activities are performed in cycles or iterations. The product is created step by step, and the initial versions or functionalities of the product are ready to use earlier in the development. Hence, some of them can be released for business use before the whole project is completed. Waterfall focuses on defining the best plan in advance and then guarantee it is followed effectively and efficiently, the so-called predictive planning. Agile, on the other hand, does not require a detailed plan to move to execution activities. The so-called adaptive planning is promoted, where the plan evolves together with the project execution and it can be updated or changed if that would benefit the end goal. Scope and requirements flexibility. Waterfall methodologies require scope and requirements to be strictly defined and agreed during planning, and any changes during the execution phase must be kept to a minimum. This school of thought highlights the importance of minimizing the cost of change and any scope-related issues. The Agile philosophy is positioned differently here too. It is expected that at least part of the requirements can only be defined during execution, when the project team will have a more realistic understanding of the product. Then, the project structure should be flexible to respond to changes and easily implement them. Lastly, we can observe a difference in the main objective that the two approaches promote. We have the goal of delivering a project within time and budget in the traditional waterfall case versus customer centricity in Agile. This, of course, does not mean any of them underestimates the scope, time and cost, but it is often visible how Agile principles often refer to customer satisfaction and the development of a product that meets the client needs, while Waterfall pursues the balance in the triple constraint. Interesting. But in the end, which one is better? Well, we need to admit that it is the wrong question to ask. The right answer will always be different, depending on the specific project. Waterfall and Agile are different approaches aimed at delivering the same thing, a successful project. They are different tools in the project manager's toolbox, and they need to choose according to the specific case at hand. That's why the question should be, what kind of projects would be better managed in a waterfall structure, and what kind of projects would be better managed in an Agile one? So let's tackle this question in our next video. See you in a bit.
Section 18 and lecture number 96, Agile versus Waterfall, Analysis.
So, let's analyze what kind of initiatives and environments would be more appropriately managed via waterfall methodology and what kind via Agile. The first point is uncertainty. As we know, projects deal with future events, so there will always be a certain degree of uncertainty. This degree, however, can make a big difference. Let's imagine it's represented by this cone. The further in time we look, the more things can happen, the more scenarios that can take place. The only sure thing is the actual moment, today. In some cases, the scenarios may be well known in advance and predictable to a good extent. In these cases, we can build an effective plan, and Waterfall would be a more efficient solution. We analyze, confirm the best plan, and go for it in the most time and resource efficient way possible. In other cases, however, the uncertainty can be quite significant. The possibilities can be countless, and no matter how much you plan, you will not know well enough how things will go before you start moving and unveiling these uncertainties. Methodologies based on the Agile principles are truly beneficial in such circumstances. The product is created and tested gradually. Work evolves step by step. The team is flexible to adapt to the actual situation, using the knowledge and information gathered during execution. So, if uncertainty is significant, look for Agile solutions, as the product will be developed and tested gradually, leaving room for changing and adapting it. Next point is scope. What is it like? Projects in which scope can be well defined in advance. Projects in which scope is complex and can only be defined at a higher level. Can the scope be defined in detail before we start execution? In the cases when the sponsor, client, and other relevant stakeholders can define the detailed requirements at the beginning, Waterfall methodologies would provide a more efficient framework. It will lock the scope and optimize the time and resources needed to realize the defined scope. The project management triple constraint laws. In these cases, the scope can be fully agreed before execution, identifying in advance all dependencies between the project activities. Public projects or construction projects in general are a classic example, as there is a strict sequence. The architectural, engineering and design plans have to be locked, and then strict standards will be applied during the construction work. It will be quite hard to change the architectural plan of a building and add 2 extra floors when it is halfway through. Note that even if you can physically make such a change, often you are forced to comply with the plan due to regulatory requirements and laws. Hence, projects in highly regulated business also lean towards waterfall-like methodologies. If, on the other hand, the activities in the project scope cannot be clearly ordered in a linear way and the detailed requirements cannot be set in stone, Agile would provide better solutions. The project will be structured in a way to absorb changes and updates to the requirement as the work evolves and uncertainties are revealed. As time passes, uncertainty decreases. More things become known, and product characteristics, functionalities, and features can be better defined. The project team can add valuable new work and avoid work that is no longer relevant. In this way, the utility or usefulness of the final product can be maximized and the customer and users satisfied. As mentioned in the previous lessons, a good example are projects involving complex work, such as product development, especially software development as a classic one. In these cases, the product is often unique, as it includes design, functionalities or features, which are heavily customized for the needs of a specific company or organization. Or, if the product will be used by the market. You can imagine how complex the requirements definition process can be in the case of a software product, which will be used by millions of users. So, if the stakeholders can agree on the scope from the beginning, Waterfall may give you a more efficient way of achieving it. If not, you would need the flexibility of an agile structure. Another good question you can ask yourself is how strong the time and cost constraints are. Projects in which time and cost, no delay or extra spend allowed. Projects in which the utility of the final product is the most important thing, customer satisfaction. In the case that the constraint is significant on either time or cost, you will need to do your best to define the requirements and ensure the limited resources will be enough. Waterfall would be more efficient in such cases, as it's generally faster, with the team able to build good momentum, working without interruption during the execution phase. That would also often be the case from a resource perspective, as the sequential structure is a bit more straightforward and easy to understand, with clear processes and rules, like project plan, critical path, and Gantt chart. Furthermore, team members can more easily participate in a waterfall project part-time. The project structure in an agile environment is usually more sophisticated, requiring more resources and time for coordination. For example, team members need to be fully dedicated to one project, significant participation by the client side, more time and efforts for coordination, including agile systems and software, training sessions, and professional agile practitioners to participate, like the Scrum Master, for example. These aspects, however, increase the chances of satisfying the customer need successfully. So if time and cost fluctuations are tolerable for the sake of creating a better product for the customer, it will be sensible to look for agile solutions. As a recap, Waterfall can be more efficient in the utilization of project resources, time and cost, while Agile will help you satisfy a more specific and complex customer problem. Alright, after looking at all these details and specifics, we can brainstorm on the results and conclusions we can draw in the next video. See you there.
Section 18 and lecture number 97, Agile versus Waterfall, Conclusion.
From the analysis we made, it appears that methodologies based on Agile are customized for specific project cases, where uncertainty is high due to technology, innovation, diverse expectations, competition, or other factors. Comprehensive and detailed planning in advance will not be so effective. Scope is complex, and the detailed requirements will most probably evolve during execution. The most important thing is that the end product meets specific customer needs, even if more time and resources are invested to achieve that. As mentioned throughout the course, good examples for initiatives with such characteristics include software projects, product development projects, research and development, innovation projects, experimental cases, content creation, design-related projects, strong customization for a specific client, and others. Cross-functional teams need to work together, covering together more than one domain of expertise, e.g., software for the finance department. We can think of Agile as the special forces, giving the needed tools to best manage these unique endeavors. Waterfall methodologies, on the other hand, seem to be more universal. From a purely project management perspective, they are also more comprehensive, as they emphasize on the importance of considering many aspects, not only scope, time and cost, but also risks, roles and responsibilities, quality, communication, change management, and procurement. Furthermore, Waterfall sets clear standards on the project lifecycle, highlighting the importance of each phase and providing best practices. PMI standards, for example. Agile, instead, aims at performing projects in a lighter structure with less documentation possible. But are they the total opposites? The black and white of project management? No. So, can they be somehow used together? Yes. Both approaches aim at helping project management be better, more efficient, and more successful. Very often, you can borrow aspects from both, depending on the project. More and more, the project manager community talks about mixed approaches, where aspects from both Waterfall and Agile are combined to grasp the benefits of both. Why don't we have parts of the execution delivered in sprints, while other parts move in a sequential and uninterrupted way? E.g., have a project stream performed in sprints, like developing a new system as part of a bigger project. Then, roll out this new system to the users in a sequential way, e.g., demo to all users, train the users in a few sessions and then release for business use. Or have a sequential project which is allowed to change its plan and direction on a few critical points. Or have the client closely involved in a waterfall project and respect the customer centricity principle from Agile, and so on. And that will also be our advice to you, project manager. Now that you are knowledgeable about the two philosophies, you are well equipped to use the best ones for your next project. Good luck!